You press your hand against a wooden table and you feel resistance. You feel its solid weight. We experience linear time passing second by second, and we assume this dense, reliable physical experience is the absolute limit of the universe. But an emerging theoretical framework called the A model suggests otherwise. It proposes that the physical world you interact with every day is actually a heavily filtered projection. It calls this the imposed reality. Look at this diagram. If we remove the illusion of solid matter, the underlying reality is the A field, an infinite ocean of vibrational information. The physical reality we touch is just one tiny cross-section, a narrow band of data isolated from a massive mathematical space. So, if we are entirely surrounded by an infinite sea of multidimensional information, what exact mechanism is filtering the universe down into the dense, limited forms sitting in front of you? The A field operates as a vast landscape of raw, interacting frequencies. These oscillations carry the latent potential to align long before they manifest as a physical object. When these frequency patterns align and lock together to resist external disruption, they form what the model calls reality knots. Mathematically, these knots are multidimensional structures defined by complex quaternionic equations that encode vast amounts of data, far more than simple physical mass. To manifest physically, these frequencies must compress into a state of maximum density, drastically dropping their phase change speed. When billions of these dense knots lock into a stable lattice, they form the physical layer we interact with daily. Physical matter represents the slowest, densest behavior of the field, a specific phase where reality knots have packed so tightly that they generate the sensation of a solid, persistent substance. To understand how we perceive these dense knots, we have to look at the observer. Human consciousness operates as a moving trajectory cutting through this massive vibrational field. This diagram shows perception narrowed by the ego restriction, a mathematical funnel. As your conscious trajectory moves, this aperture shears off higher dimensional data unnecessary for physical survival. Only the basic wave amplitude survives, projecting the stripped-down, imposed reality we experience. All the complex phase data and unresolved topological loops are left behind in the dark. In the A model, these unseen, unresolved loops are mathematically defined as karma. The human ego operates as a mathematical filter. It actively blocks out the true dimensionality of the universe to keep our attention locked entirely on earthly survival. The imposed reality is a temporary, low-frequency state of attentional focus. Looking at this frequency model, there is a clear rule for expanding our perceptive bandwidth. By lowering your internal phase entropy, meaning your internal noise cleans up into a synchronized wave, the mathematical window of what you can perceive widens. We experience this shift every night. In a dream state, the mind untethers from dense physical variables. The model calls this the coherence decoupling regime. Once decoupled, the ego's filter relaxes. We are briefly able to perceive other topological configurations of the A field that are normally blocked from view. Your life functions as a highly specific mathematical interface, designed to allow a consciousness to navigate a dense environment. By tuning your internal coherence, you are adjusting the parameters of that interface. You literally alter the mathematical limits of your observable reality. The ultimate state is field-level unity. When entropy drops to its lowest point, the ego dissolves, leaving the observer and universe mathematically indistinguishable.